Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and it's wonderful you could spend some time here today. Today we're going to have part 2 of this short series on my Mac G4 MDD, the dual 867 gigahertz model. In the last, you saw me put in a PCI SATA controller card, and I attached the boot drive to that. And you also saw the installation of 128 gig SSD in the ATA 100 lane. Now, today's video is going to involve putting in OSs on that 128 gig drive. And I mentioned in the last video that there would be some interesting things about that. For one, anyone who's into working with retro computers is very well aware of the frustrations of dealing with the slow speeds of the optical drives in doing installations. And since I install older versions of Mac OS quite frequently on machines, it seems there should be a better way. Now, there is an interesting video. Colin of This Does Not Compute did a video where he put the installers onto a period Firelight external hard drive, Firewire 400 in fact, and got much faster speeds in the installs by doing that. Now Greg Rutke of Rutke Mods went in one better. He took an old Firelight drive, took the thing apart, and believe me, they're not really intended to come apart, but he took it apart, he put an SSD in there, and did much the same thing. And of course that increased the speeds a little bit. Well, yeah, I actually had been looking for one of the old Firelight drives. They have gotten expensive. So what I did was to get a rather inexpensive Firewire enclosure. This, I think it's something in the order of $25 on Amazon, although they got to be harder to find after a while. It's a Firewire 400, so that's going to slow it down a little bit from Firewire 800, but not so much. So I will be installing Tiger on that 128 gigabyte drive using the Firewire 800 installer. Now, OS 9. This was the last series of computers that could actually run OS 9. Any machine that came with 10.2 Jaguar or later pre-installed is unable to boot into OS 9. These came with 10.1 Puma installed. The next version, the Firewire 800 version of the MDD, came with Jaguar. One of the reasons why I prefer this machine over the Firewire 800 version, this machine can in fact boot into OS 9, but there's a trick. And Apple has done this over the years, having a specialized version of an operating system for a specific machine. I can't just put, and believe me, I've tried, you can't just put an OS 9 install CD in there and install it. It doesn't work. You can't clone an OS 9 install from someplace else and just install it. It doesn't work. It requires the specific OS 9 for the Mac G4 MDD. Fortunately, as so often is the case, Macintosh Garden, at macintoshgarden.org, has got it. And what you would be looking for there, if you want to do this yourself, would be the OS9 general.dmg. You mount that DMG, drag over the appropriate folders from the DMG, like the system folder, applications, etc., and then you can just boot it right up. Simple as that. Now, some of you, if you have been observing about this, may have a question saying, Lee, that PCI controller card has got 4 SATA ports on it, Why the heck are you putting that on an ATA 100? SATA 1 is going to be a lot faster. And indeed it would. If I were simply going to be running Tiger, I would do that. Problem. Mac OS 9 does not understand SATA. So, in order to run OS 9, I have to put it onto a SATA, onto an ATA connected drive. That's the purpose of that 128 gig drive. So, 2 operating systems to go onto one drive, both with a little bit of a twist. Kind of thing that I enjoy and I find interesting. I hope you find it interesting too, and if you do, please stay tuned. Alright, we have the MDD booted up into Leopard. Now, we may remember that in checking it out, I discovered that the destination called Test does not have OS 9 drivers installed. So we're going to need to reformat that. DOS opening disk utility. All right. And erase. And we're going to call this, what are we going to call this? SPIDE. And that says SPIDE, doesn't it? SPATA? SPATA? Oh, what the heck. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so OS 9 extended journaled and install OS 9 drivers. All right. So we'll erase. This shouldn't take too long. And there is SPATA. It's a silicon-powered drive, if you're wondering, connected to the ATA 100. Oh, right then. Now I have plugged in the FireWire drive with the installers, and we see here we've got Panther, Tiger, Leopard, and OS 9. Now we can't use the OS 9. In this case, because we will have a special OS 9, but our first step has got to be to install Tiger. So I am going to restart the machine and hold down the Option key. Since fortunately we can get a boot manager here, having done a lot pretty recently with that old broken blue and white, blue and whites don't have boot managers. Okay. You don't want to shut down, do you? Well, I'll bring you back, taking pity on you, when we actually get to the boot manager, so stay tuned. Alright, we're here. I may have saved you a minute. Now we're just waiting for it to populate. There's the Leopard drive, Tiger drive, and here's our installers. Alright. We'll wait to get our cursor. This machine has realized there are no more bootable OSs to find. Here we go. We'll go to install Tiger and restart. Okay, here we're going. Again, compared to how long you have to wait when you're doing this with a traditional optical drive, this goes like magic. All right, and yes, we do want to use English. Continue there. Accept the license agreement. All right. I'm going to install here. Install. No, wait a minute. Well, that was my foolishness. I should have configured that. It's going to install a whole bunch of things we don't need to install. But it's going to go really quickly nonetheless, so please stay tuned. I'll tell you, installing from this drive is amazing. We're just about done. That's the time. That's not 3 hours. 3 minutes coming up on 4. I did go back and restart it just to deselect things. Okay. And I changed it from SPATA to SPATA. Okay, and it will restart. So we're going to restart it, and to that point, slightly over 4 minutes. I was a little late starting the clock. All right. And anyone who has installed older versions of Mac OS X will realize why I'm continuing to stay here. Come on, my friend. And here we go. And a spinning beach ball. Oh, Lord. That's the time to the install, to the welcome video. I miss welcome videos. It's kind of loud, I admit. Turn that down a bit. Okay, so from this point here, I am going to have to go through the whole setup, so we shall bring you back when we get to the desktop. So stay tuned. And here we are on a clean install desktop. We can eject the installers now. All right, all that has come up. Close out of that. And we shall see here 10.4.6 is what the installer gives you. Now, I'm going to have to spend the next 20 minutes to half an hour installing software updates, which fortunately still come through by clicking software update. Prior to Tiger, you've got to search out the updates on the Apple website, which I have done and have archived most of those. All right, so I will go through all of this. You don't need to watch the software updates, so please stay tuned. Now, the reason why this takes so much time in terms of the software updates, and I've been at this for quite a while now, it's all of these Java updates. Now, could they not have combined them into one combined update, the way they do with the Mac OS updates? It would take a while to do, of course, but then again, you just set it once, go do something else for a while, let it run. But this, if memory serves, is the last one. And we'll have a completely updated Tiger. And it should check for new software and discover nothing at this point. You can't be surprised by these software updates. If you install a new piece of software, the software update server may discover that there is an update for that particular software. And I have been surprised at times at having thought I had thoroughly updated my operating system. Okay, we're done. All right, now customizing Tiger. Honestly, the only place I run Tiger blue and whites, where you're restricted to nothing more than Tiger. Uh, there I will run it, and there I will update it. I'm will probably eventually do some customizing of this and installing of various applications. But the big thing right now is to get on to OS 9. Now, here's the cool thing. With Jaguar and above, you can log into network shares. Oh, great. Did I mistype the password? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it wanted my server password, not my computer password. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, it'll take a while to mount up. What I'm doing now, as I said in the introduction, uh, doing multiple things at once. In order to install OS 9, you need a very specific, machine-specific OS 9. It's available on uh, macintoshgarden.org. Here we see os9general.dmg. I'm going to copy that over. The connection, I've got this connected through, since there's no airport card, I've got it connected through an Airport Express, which works. I mean, it's very convenient. It is a little bit slower than more modern Wi-Fi iterations, but there you go. All right. Tell you what, I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. All right, here we have our os9general.dmg. We'll mount the disk image. I will skip verifying because I have opened this many times because I've saved it. All right. Now, all we're going to do is drag everything okay. That should be the big one. Documents should go quickly. System folder will take a little bit, because that is where the system is. And that's there. Desktop folder. Trash. Be nothing in it. Let's eject the disk image. Drag that to the trash. And go to System Preferences, Startup Disk. And here's OS 9. So let's boot into OS 9. Hopefully this is going to work. There we go. And here we... Actually, looks like a pretty quick boot up. By OS 9 terms, anyway. Huh. Oh, yes, it's going to do the welcome video. All right. In any event, we had this. I'm going to have to go through the setup for Mac OS 9. I'll need to do some customizing for Mac OS 9. But I think we can probably safely end this video at this point. We have successfully installed our operating systems and seen the little tricks you can do using the FireWire drive for Tiger and using the machine-specific MDD disk image in order to set it up on the mirrored drive door machine. So I think we can end the video right now. That being the case, be good to other people. Other people need and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. You need and deserve it. We can make this world a better place. And we're going to try. We're going to succeed. It isn't yet, so please take very, very good and careful care in these difficult times. We shall be back with you after this. I've got one other video in mind and a little series of videos all involving the Power Mac G4s. Until we get to that point that those are available, this has been Broke Electronics.